The shocking death of Chinlee Robinson, a 23-year-old Jamaican national who died at His Majesty's prison at the start of this year, has now taken a sinister turn. Once deemed a tragic incident, it is now being investigated as a homicide after an autopsy revealed the chilling truth: he was strangled to death. It also said that he suffered trauma to the neck and cardiac arrest. Chinlee was remanded in December of 2024 for what many considered a petty crime, phone larceny. Yet beneath the surface of this seemingly minor offense lay a tangled web of complications surrounding his passport and immigration documents, leading to his confinement. But the real mystery began when he was discovered unresponsive in his cell just weeks later after he was remanded, casting a dark shadow over the prison. Superintendent of Prison Trevor Pennyfeather, who has been tightly woven into the fabric of this unfolding story, spoke to us about the matter.
It looks like anoxia, trauma to the neck, and then, of course, cardiac failure. Mm-hmm. I think, in short, what the police said, very possibly it's strangulation. That's the probability, but the matter is still very much under the investigation of the police.
Chinlee shared his cell with another inmate who is now believed to be the prime suspect in the case. This individual is Antiguan, according to sources, and was released from prison long before the autopsy results indicated Chinlee's cause of death. However, how could someone be killed in a prison cell without any sounds of a struggle or even commotion? We posed this question to the prison superintendent.
Well, you have officers in the yard that are responsible to monitor the conduct of prisoners. But particularly given the time that the last time he was seen alive that evening, and when they go to bed, then and the lock-off period, then of course it would be difficult outside of having 24 electronic monitoring. It would be impossible to have your eye on every single inmate at the time. Officers would make their routine checks. Individuals at times during that time would be the silent hours, sleeping, that sort of thing. And so they will just basically make a pass and ensure that the individual is okay. The difficulty there is basically once the checks are being made, that you very seldom have to wake up every single inmate to ensure that they're all right. And so I think that is the whole issue of what would have transpired or what possibly could have transpired and at what time.
The lock-off period at His Majesty's prison is about 4:30 in the afternoon, with officers making hourly rounds to ensure prisoners are accounted for. However, if someone is dead, the possibility of knowing immediately is slim.
Who found Chinlee's body unresponsive?
It would have been the officer that morning at 5:15 or so, when the usual time to get the inmates up and awake so that they do their necessary toiletries and so on and so forth. So that would have taken place sometime around 5:15, 5:30, the very latest.
So what happened that day, and how many checks were made?
How many checks was made that night? Maybe 3 or 4 should have been made that night. But as I said, they would be just passing, and that an individual, just like many other inmates, would be on their bed asleep. And it would have been difficult to know whether or not that such a tragedy would have occurred, given the nature of it.
Right. So you don't think that 24-hour surveillance is necessary at this time, based on what happened?
When you use the term surveillance, certainly additional officers, so that you would have more frequent checks. is possible and could be helpful. But again, given the time of night, you would not have those officers basically seeking to awake each inmate. So even though you may have officers who may be passing and who may basically be conducting checks, mobile or routine checks, then unless you would have officers to station at each division that would have a presence, then would have a constant presence, then you will have to rely on mobile checks. Outside of that, it would be that you have electronic support at each cell. Because though you may have some electronic support on the external within His Majesty's prison, we are not yet at the stage whereby they are installed inside the various divisions.
Chinlee's relatives, particularly his brother, seeking justice is completely understandable. However, the situation raises an even more profound concern for society at large. When relatives of inmates express fears for their loved one's safety within the prison system, it highlights systematic issues that extend far beyond individual cases. Penny further responded in this way.
I would say this: wherever there are two human beings, irrespective to it being, two inmates, husband and wife, brother and sister, cousins, once you have two separate human beings, anything is possible. And that goes even as far as His Majesty's prison, where inmates are confined, they're frustrated for various reasons. Individuals have various stresses on them. There are disagreements, individuals not being very much trained or au fait with solving their issues in one way or the other without it coming to violence. These things, they do happen, and they happen not just in His Majesty's prison, they happen all over around the world.
In the meantime, there are plans to increase manpower at the prison. New recruits are expected to start their jobs soon. But could there be a deeper issue at play? Perhaps there is. Attorney Wendell Alexander believes that there should be an overhaul of the judicial system in the country. He said the failed system should take the blame for Chinlee's untimely death.
This man is young. This man was in custody on remand for a larceny of a cell phone. And it can be no logical reason why the magistrate had not granted bail all the time. This thing about he didn't have a passport is nonsense upon stilt, because that is no reason for denying a person bail or having a person on remand. And I am literally tired. I feel as if I'm on a one-man campaign about the issues that are happening at the prisons and nobody doing anything about it. He should not have been in the prison in the first place, so larceny of a cell phone. It's either he's going to plead guilty and you deal with him, or you have a matter going before for trial, or you grant him bail. It's larceny of a cell phone, one which may not attract a custodial sentence in any event, especially if he's a first-time offender.
Alexander has stated that he has contacted the Commissioner of Police to request a homicide investigation which should proceed alongside a coroner's inquest. He voiced concerns about class and social inequality, suggesting that Chinlee's background may have contributed to the perceived lack of urgency in the investigation.
I did not get the impression that a homicide investigation had commenced in the proper sense of the word. They were just awaiting the post-mortem, and now the post-mortem reveal and person saying, well, maybe this, maybe that. Was he strangled to death? Was he choked to death? And if so, by whom? And as I had indicated before, if Mr. Robinson was from a bourgeois family, heads would have been rolling in Antigua and Barbuda. But as usual, the picky-head people in Antigua, and I'm tired of saying it, but the picky-head people in Antigua, there is no justice for them. And justice is a very scarce commodity now. I have noticed this in many respects. There need to be, and this is for the Attorney General, there needs to be a serious overhaul of the criminal justice system in all quarters, in the magistracy, in the judiciary, in the whole process of the way in which police investigate matters, as well as even in the prison system. We're not trying to cast blame on anybody, but the time has come for there to be a reform, a complete reform of the whole criminal justice system. But for the time being, a criminal investigation needs to be launched.
So, what really transpired behind those barred doors? Was Chinlee's fate sealed the moment he entered the prison, or is there more to uncover in this tragic story? Should the legal system bear the burden of imprisoning a 23-year-old for the theft of a cell phone valued at just about $400? What kind of closure will his family receive? So many questions, yet so few answers. This has been a production of Antigua.news, sponsored by Hammer Time Building Supplies Limited. I am Shameen Big Charles. Illuminate your space with style and efficiency through our unbeatable selection of outdoor and indoor ceiling lights. Stay cool and comfortable with our range of ceiling fans, perfect for any occasion. Need to tackle those do-it-yourself projects? Our top quality hardware tools have got you covered. Upgrade your bathroom with our stunning vanities that combines elegance and functionality. Beat the heat with our energy-efficient air conditioning units. But that's not all. We sell sand, stones, cement. You name it, we've got it. Wait, fed up with your nosy neighbor? Get your smart fence and keep your business. Well, just that, your business. Don't have enough cash? That's easy. With affordable plans to suit your pocket and your lifestyle, let us take care of your payment plans. Your home, your style, our products. Visit us today at Casada Gardens and find everything you need to make your home a haven.